What's up guys, Matt from TeamVLR here. Before I start the video, I just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, For One Games. If you guys are in the market for anything Yu-Gi-Oh related, whether it's singles or sealed product, be sure to check out their website, ForOneGames.ca. And if you're in the market for Yu-Gi-Oh singles, be sure to use code TeamVLR for 10% off your purchase. It supports the channel and we'd really appreciate it. Now, anyways, onto the video. So this is a bit of a follow-up to something I posted a few weeks ago. When dragging around Monarchs, I just posted like video that just shows some replays about what the deck can do, and this is the actual profile and the list for it. This deck is a lot of fun. It's done better than I thought it would, to be honest. Now, if you're looking for a competitive Monarch deck, this probably isn't the way to go. You might get some ideas from this deck, but I think there are better card choices if you're trying to play a competitive Monarch deck. But in terms of the Winged Dragon of Ra, I think this is the way to go. Like, I don't think the combo version is the way to go. I just think it's too susceptible to interruption, whereas this is less so. And I think the Winged Dragon Ra support from Rage of Ra and Monarchs just complement each other well. I'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, I think in terms of Winged Dragon Ra, this is the way to go if you want to play it. So yeah, anyways, enough of that. Let's get into the profile. So starting off with 3 Aether, 3 Erebus. We're going to start with the Monarch bit first, just because it's the biggest part and honestly the main focus of the deck. So these 3, or these 2, get your engine going. They both dump Pantheism and Prime. Erebus is great going first, just to send something back from your opponent's hand, make them start with 5 cards. And Aether is just great for interrupting your opponent's turn, getting an extra body on board for the OTK. In terms of the little ones, so 1 Kraz, if you played Monarch format before, you'd know why you need it. It gets you extra draws, lets you pop stuff. If you really need to, you can pop your opponent's things too, but it's not ideal. 1 new thing, Celglare, the Luminous Lunar Dragon from Rise of the Duelist. The artwork is phenomenal. Sometimes you might want to just summon this off Aether. It gives you an extra interruption. You get to take something of your opponent's till the end phase by returning this to your hand. So you don't even lose it. It doesn't go to the graveyard. It just goes back to your hand, so you can potentially use it again. It's a cute card. Definitely want to keep testing it, but it gives you an extra option to summon off Aether, which I think is really nice. And then in terms of the Fiends, 1 Majesties and 1 Vanities. They're just floodgates. They could potentially steal games, help you win the game, or you slow the game down enough so that you can one-punch your opponent with the Winged Dragon of Ra. Yeah, I think you have to play them. And then in terms of the little guys, I'm playing 3 Edea and 2 Eidos. I'm not playing Mithra. I don't have room for it. Also, I have 6 other monsters that kind of do the same thing-ish, but I think a bit better. It's debatable. But yeah, 3 Edea, 3 Eidos, I think it's or 2 Eidos, I think it's the correct ratio. They're really good. You have to run them. Okay, so one thing I'm doing a bit differently than I think everyone else is Danger. So 1 Jackalope, 1 Tsuchinoko, 1 Mothman, 1 Nessie, 1 Thunderbird, 1 Bigfoot. So the biggest problem with Monarch decks, I think everyone can agree on, is just how bricky they are. Dangers definitely help with that. They also serve another purpose, which is, I mean, aside from Jackalope, they all have decent attack stats, and I guess Tsuchinoko is pretty small too, but the other 4 bigger attack stats, which is necessary for Ancient Chant and making your Winged Dragon Ra as big as possible. Yeah, honestly, they work really well. I've been really happy with them. Sometimes they'll pitch like a dead Pantheism in hand. Sometimes I'll even tribute some Bigfoot or Thunderbird. That sounds awful. It comes up. You'd be surprised. But yeah, I was playing Dogman, because that one for some reason has Monarch stats. So you could use it with Tenacity or search it off return, but instead I opted to just play Celglare instead. I think it's just a better card to play over Dogman. And then the last monster, the Winged Dragon of Ra. Yeah, you just need it for the 1-punch, and it's cool. Cool shirt. One other thing I'll say is this main deck is pretty like budget friendly aside from the rarities. Like if you go low rarity on everything, it's pretty this is a pretty budget friendly deck. Aside from the side deck, I mean there's no extra deck, so yeah, if you're looking for like a fun budget deck, this might not be that bad. So spells, 3 Pantheism, it's back to 3. I missed playing it at 3. It's just such a good card. Always a +1. At least. Yeah, I'm so happy it's back. Fantastic card. 3 Stormforth. You have to play 3. Just when you drop this on your opponent, they have to respond. And if they don't negate it, one of their negates is going to go away. Fantastic card. 2 Domain. I think 3 is like a bit too bricky. 2 is just fine. A lot of times it just gets outed, so you do need the second one, and also you will need the second one just for like grind games and banish them off prime in the grave and whatnot. But sometimes the domain lock is all you need. If your opponent's not maining back row removal, although quite a few decks are right now, but sometimes if they don't draw into it, you just win off domain. 3 Tenacity, just a searcher for everything. 1 Return, I don't have room for more. If I did, I would play more, but I only have room for 1. And in terms of power spells, we have 1 Rhoda, 1 for 1 Foolish Burial Goods. These 2 are just to get to Idia, and then Foolish Burial Goods can help you start plays by sending whichever one you need, Prime or Pantheism. And then the last 2 spells are 2 Ancient Chant, so this is the only bit of Winged Dragon or Raw support we're playing in the deck. It's the only card you need, really. So what this card does, and that makes it work so well with Monarchs, is it gives you that extra tribute summon, because sometimes your Eidos maybe gets Gammaed, maybe it gets Impermed. If you lose that extra normal summon, this gives you another one. But also, it searches the Winged Dragon of Ra, it gets it back from the graveyard in case you pitched it off on your dangers, and also that effect to banish it from grave to allow Ra to gain the original attack of whatever you tributed is so underrated. Especially if you come use it with like Stormforce, and let's say your opponent had a really big monster, like 1 punching your opponent is just really easy. I think this card is great. I think it just synergizes really well with Monarchs. And yeah, I think 3 is too many. I think it's just too bricky, but I think 2 is just like the sweet spot, and it's just right. And then in terms of traps, 2 Prime Monarch. And in terms of the side deck, because we don't need an extra deck, we're playing Domain Monarchs. 1 Feather Duster, it's back. I think you have to play it, it's just mandatory. 3, there can only be 1. This card is actually really damn good in this deck. Everything is pretty much a different type, so it doesn't really hinder the deck. I mean, it just prevent you from summoning like multiple Aether, but this card in its own can win you games, so who cares about that? Yeah, no, this card is like amazing. In terms of hand traps, 3 Droll, that's the one I decided to go with. You're not trying to play like a card for card interaction thing with your opponent. You're just trying to get resolve cards that are more blowouts, and Droll and Lockboard would be one of them. It's just a floodgate, it stops your opponent from searching. It's really good right now against a lot of decks. I think you have to play it. 3 Nib. It's Nib, like, I mean, that's all I have to say. It ends combo decks turns. It's just that good. 3 Dark Ruler No More, again, just kills combo decks. And the last thing is 2 Twin Twister. The third one is Harpy's Feather Duster now. So yeah, guys, that was the profile. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any like suggestions or ideas for me to test out, I'd be glad to hear them. And aside from that, yeah, guys, be sure to stay tuned to TeamVLR for more. Peace.